Hello everyone, it's Chris with Expat Theory. If you're new to my channel, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. Appreciate y'all being here. Thought I'd do a comprehensive 2-year review of working at GP TRANSCO. Made myself a couple of notes here to start out. I officially hit 2 years in January, and I made $71,000 gross the first year. I've made $74,600 this last year, 2024. So in the 2 years I've been here, I've made over $145,000. That's the most important for most people. Figure out, what are you going to get paid? GP is kind of listed as one of the better paying companies to work for. If you do YouTube searches on trucking companies that pay well, they pop up frequently. You know, they're usually in the top 10 most of the time. I don't know what your expectations are for drive-in trucking, but $74,000 ain't bad. You know, there might be people out there making more, you know, but I'm personally satisfied with that. I think that's a pretty good number. So we'll start out with leading out that on a rating. Let's do star ratings, 1 to 5. I'd say that's at least a solid 4. I think that one carries a lot of weight on my overall rating, because if you ain't getting paid good, you're not going to want to stay at the company. And that's one of the main reasons why people switch companies. They don't feel like they're getting paid well. You know, I would question, you know, if you're able to make more, or if your expectations are higher than the actual job produces. I don't know. Been in this game for 5 years, and I was not making this money at CRST. I made 71 in my last year, and I was there for 3 years. So I'd say that's a solid 4, and that carries a lot of weight. My next note was on the maintenance and equipment. Their equipment's not bad at all. I mean, their equipment's really pretty good. I ended up getting a brand new truck, a 2023 back then. Of course, I racked up a couple 100,000 miles on it. But it drives fantastic. It's going strong. I've had some issues that are, you know, based on Freightliner, but wear and tear, normal stuff, nothing major. Starting with a brand new truck was nice, and that happens a lot around here. The company keeps a pretty good handle on updating their equipment. The trucks rotate out, I think, somewhere like 350,000 miles, something like that. They trade them in and trade them off or whatever, and bring in new trucks. So they keep an updated fleet. A big issue, especially when I was working with CRST, was trailers. Trailers at CRST, they were pretty rough. A lot of times they were sketchy being on the road. They were not good equipment. Here, not had that problem. Their trailers are pretty much up to speed. You might get one that's been beat around a little bit, but for the most part, they're pretty decent. Of course, anybody in the industry will tell you, trailers have issues with stupid ABS systems. The little module for ABS goes out frequently, and that's just a manufacturing thing. The part sucks and it goes down a lot. So that's a frequent problem for every company everywhere in the country. Ours isn't too bad though. I haven't had much at all. You might get a light that gets burned out or broken or something, or it's, of course, tires, but the trailers, they keep them in good shape. They inspect them. They make sure they're good to go. I've had no real issues with equipment. So I probably, on a 1 to 5 star rating. Oh, let me go back to maintenance. They do keep you on a good schedule. They bring you in when you're nearby for maintenance. Like if you go home time or whatever, while you're on home time, they know the truck is there. They'll bring it in and do your scheduled maintenance and stuff. If you're out on the road, they do a good job of getting you in somewhere and get your maintenance done, your PMs and stuff, and any kind of repair, any kind of issue or problem that you run into, they don't hesitate. They'll send you to a shop and get you fixed. And of course, you got to deal with that. You can't hold it against the company if it takes Love's 2 days to get the parts and get your truck fixed. That's not something the company can control. But what they can control is they immediately get you to a shop and get you fixed if needed. Any kind of issue, they deal with it immediately. There's no, well, just go with it and we'll deal with it later. No. They'll support you and take care of you. So I have to kind of give them a 5 star on equipment. Their equipment's decent and they take care of it. Next note I got is loads and miles. Here, there's some room for improvement. Being a middle-sized company, we have a tendency to stay within like a box. If you were to draw a line from the center of Texas straight up and down across the U.S., everything to the east of that is pretty much where we run. We don't do a whole lot of west side. Do some, but not a lot. We don't do a whole lot down southeast. We do have a little bit down southeast. The big majority is all around the Great Lakes areas, all the way up to Maine, all the way across the northeast, central, kind of the south central, Kentucky, Tennessee, North Carolina, all that, Virginia, Maryland. We pretty much stay in that zone for the most part. The loads are plentiful there, and we're based out of Joliet, so it's a bit easier for the company to manage. Downside to that is you don't really get the longer miles, and being a solo driver and a lot of companies wanting loads to move quickly across country, those loads that are going from, say, Maryland to Washington State, they're going to give that to a team driving situation. They're going to give it to somebody that's team driving that can get it there in 2.5 days, 3 days, instead of a solo driver that's going to take 4 or 5 days to get across country. So the opportunity to run those kinds of loads, not as big. You will get some good loads, like I've taken loads from the Great Lakes areas down to Texas, and then from Texas back. You can get a couple of good loads. Go from the Northeast out to the Midwest, 1,000, 1,100 miles. Those happen. We have a lot of miles that are run 400, 500, 600 miles. You get a lot of loads like that. So if you keep running and keep moving, you can still make your miles. It's just a little bit harder than if you're doing it all in one shot. So the miles are there, you're just a little harder to get, and you spend a bit of time backed up to a dock. I mean, you're usually doing a delivery and a pickup most every day. There are times when it's every other day. I would probably give them about a 3-star rating on the loads and miles. Your weekly miles, I guess I have to say that I've been averaging above 2,400 most of the time. A lot of the times I'm running 27, 2,800, which isn't fantastic or anything. You know, I know a lot of drivers, they really want 3,000 miles a week. I don't know. It's just, I think it's harder to do. You might get it sometimes, but it doesn't feel like you're going to get it all the time. So I think there's a little bit of room to improve on the loads and miles. Some of the customers we deal with too, that's another thing. Some of the customers we deal with on a regular basis, they're not the best. But it's trucking. I mean, you're not going to have, you know, great customers, great loads, and great miles every week. It's just, that's not going to happen. You know, people keep blowing smoke up people's butts, especially the young, new people. You know, they keep giving them the wrong expectations. They're going to come in here and just drive like crazy and, you know, make 6 figures a year and all this. That's just not the normal. It's just not the average. So, you know, you have to get used to the idea that you're going to be dealing with some customers that are kind of crappy. Some of them have terrible dock situations. Some of them have terrible yard situations. Some of them are just mean and nasty to try to deal with. And there are times when you have to bite your tongue and go back to your truck so you don't get in trouble, because the people, you just want to get ugly with them, but you can't. You try to remain professional, you know, and do the best you can with that. But on the loads and miles, I'd probably give them a good 3 stars on it. There's some room for improvement, but they're definitely not the worst. Okay, DMs and communications. Your driver managers and communications. Here again, we got a little bit of room for improvement, but on a personal level, my guy, and the way things are going now, I have to give him a 4-star, because my guy's doing me a good job. I mean, he's running me. He does his best to keep me moving and keep me going with miles, and for the most part, he's available when I need him. It is a little frustrating when you call in and he doesn't answer and somebody else picks up, but that's been an improvement a little bit about somebody else picking up instead of it just not going anywhere. Your phone call just gets disconnected. That honestly, that pisses me off. If I call in, I need to talk to somebody. I don't call in to shoot the breeze. I call in because I need something and they need to talk to me. So my guy's been doing good. The guy I had before him was okay, but not as good. For GP TRANSCO as a whole, I do hear a lot of problems. There are some DMs that are not doing great. I think every company in the country has issues with their nights and weekend people. I don't think we're any different. It's always best to just deal with your problems and issues with your driver manager when they're available. If it can wait till morning and deal with your guy, do it. Don't even call. Don't even bother dealing with nights and weekends unless you have to. They're kind of there for emergency situations more so than anything else. So overall, I would probably give them a 3-star on that rating. Personally, on my level, my guy, I'm giving him a 4. Oh, let's see. We have a Facebook group. That's a mixed bag. I kind of like the idea that a company-sponsored Facebook group, because that does open up some communications back to the company. They see what's going on in there. a lot of you can just get in there and bitch, gripe, and complain. But I guess, I mean, on an upside, at least if you got a bitch, gripe, or complaint, somebody's going to see it, you know? That's better than nothing, you know? It's better than not being seen or heard at all. Of course, when dealing with social media, you're always going to have the Karens and Kevins who got to get in there and act a fool. You also got the trolls. You know, you can make a positive comment somewhere and somebody's got to come in and just kick you in the teeth because they're horrible little human beings who can't handle that somebody else is happy about something. Happens. You guys wouldn't believe the kind of crap I deal with on YouTube, some of the comments and attacks that I get. It's insane. I just try to roll with it, but Facebook group, eh. Anyway, so communications, 3 stars, could be better. Management, the openness for management and working with them to get things done. I can't really say anything bad. I can't say anything bad about GP. You know, they offer really nice facilities there at the headquarters. You've got pretty much everybody and everybody available there that you need. Your HR guy, he's there. There's a liaison lady there. You can go through the Facebook group. You can call people. You can get with vehicle maintenance group. They're available and they're pretty much willing. I have not run into a situation where they're not willing to try to fix anything and everything that you got to deal with. I don't know what more you can ask for. You know, some people get angry. A lot of it has to do with personality, but I think on a company basis, I think they've opened up some. There were some things that frustrated me with what I called the ivory tower situation, where management's separated from us lowly drivers. We're the peasants and they're the upper echelon, and access to people and all that. They've made some improvements with that. There's been an improvement in the availability, accessibility, and interaction with management over the last 6 months or so that I think are a positive move. I think you're going in the right direction. So I'm gonna have to probably give them again another 3.5 to 4 stars on being able to get everything you need done and deal with management as a whole. And for the most part, they're pretty pleasant people to deal with. I've not had any issues where there's been any kind of negativity or to somebody who doesn't want to do their job or bad attitudes, or never run into that. So got to do good. Another thing I wanted to mention, another note I made, was here, brand new situation. We got new tablets for the trucks. They went out and purchased iPads for the whole fleet. Now, they had a little Samsung tablet. It was kind of trash. And I was pretty aggravated and pissed off about their Wi-Fi in the truck. The truck has a Wi-Fi adapter. And the data that was available on that would run out. And the only way that I could send information and data, which is scanning my BOLs and doing my job, was to turn on my devices and use my data to send in their paperwork through their device, because their data was burned up. That burned my butt. I hated that. I was pissed off about that. A multi-million-dollar company, I'm having to provide them with free data. It's stuck right here. I'm flat out honest with you. I did not like that. It pissed me off. Well, not only did they fix it, they went above and beyond. They gave everybody brand new iPads with unlimited data. So now you can actually connect up to the company tablet and use the data on the tablet for your devices. So if you have a device that needs to connect to the internet, you can go through their tablet. That in itself, to me, is a huge plus. Not because I need their data, because I don't. I don't need their data. It just really was the fact that it really aided me that I have to use my data plan for them. They fixed that and reversed it to the other direction to where they're providing all the data that I need to do my job. And they gave me a quality piece of equipment to work with to do my job. Not a big fan of Apple products, so the iPad thing was like, okay, now I gotta figure out how to work with Apple. I'm a Samsung and Android guy. But I'll figure it out, it's just a little learning curve. But I'm really impressed with that. And I appreciate it. And again, it's not about the money, it's not about the data. It was just about how it felt. It felt creepy that, I have to provide this big company with free data off my plan. That bugged me. So they completely flipped that around. And I appreciate it. I appreciate the fact that I got to give them another 4 stars here for the way they are approaching this job in this industry. They are trying to move forward and do good and make a good job for the driver. I recognize that and I appreciate it, and I take that into account. So overall, for the entire company, I have to say a good solid 4 stars. Is there a company out there that's 5 stars? I haven't heard of them. So if you find somebody that you feel is 5-star rating across the board, you better get on there and get hired and stay there forever, because I think that's going to be a tall order to fill to hit 5-star. And I don't BS. I hope you guys understand. I have no compensation whatsoever for any video or any opinion or anything. The company's not backing me. This is me, myself, and I. This is my opinion. Been here 2 years, telling you straight up, honestly. I don't sugarcoat shit, and I don't lie about shit, and I'm not a recruiter. I don't care if you drive for GP. That has nothing to do with what I'm doing. I'm just telling you how I feel about this company and what they're doing and why I'm still here after 2 years. There have been times I wanted to tell them. There's been a couple of times when I've been like, I'm out, I gave them 2 weeks notice. I was so upset and aggravated, I gave them 2 weeks notice. And then a manager got on the phone and we hashed some things out and fixed the situation, and I said, okay, we'll see how it goes. And they've done better. That alone, to me, speaks volumes. They're willing to work with you. They're willing to try to make things better. They care about what they're doing. I gotta say, they're a decent company to work for. Can you make money, better money somewhere? Maybe. Can you find a better company? Maybe. I haven't heard of it. Because, in 5 years, I've talked to a lot of drivers out here that work for a lot of companies. My best friend's a truck driver. He's been with a couple of different companies. I've been with 2 companies. And as far as I can tell, GP's the best one that I've seen. and I really like how they're approaching things. I like how they're really trying to continue to improve and do better. So again, 4 stars out of 5. There's some room for improvement, but I think they're knocking it out of the park. I think they're doing really good. So that's it. That's the comprehensive review. As far as, if there's any questions, comments, concerns, areas where you need any further information, drop them down in the comments below. I'd be glad to try to answer. I do try to follow the comments and stuff. I do try to answer people. So if there's anything out there you need to know, just tell me down below. And if you know anybody that might be interested in my content, please share it to them. And thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.